Let me explain why this is the surprise Marvel set of the summer right now. Hello everybody, the Brickologist here with another LEGO Marvel Superheroes The Infinity Saga set review. Today we have set number 76289, Thor vs. Surtur construction figure. This set retails for about $30 US, contains 245 pieces, and here is a front look at your box, which I gotta say has some fantastic artwork. The back of the box showcases some of the play features included in this set. This set has one instruction manual that is 81 pages long that has no advertisements for other LEGO Marvel sets. Nearly 250 pieces later and the set is now complete. Now almost every piece in this set goes towards Surtur, however you get Thor and a couple of other figures on the side with some added accessories that actually give this scene some pizzazz. Let's look at those figures here first. Before we look at the mighty one, I wanted to get the fire demons out of the way. These are basically black skeleton pieces with a brand new face print that actually is double-sided and looks quite nice. Not the most exciting figure in the world, but honestly, LEGO didn't really have to include them here, so I'm glad that they did. But of course, the main draw for minifigures in this set here is the mighty Thor, the god of thunder, and he looks very, very good. Would have loved to have seen some leg printing, but that could be the name of the autobiography about LEGO Marvel Superheroes minifigures. The rest of him looks stellar. Mjolnir, great mold. I love the torso print. Face print looks great, and he has a new rubber cape piece, which is this the new norm for Marvel superheroes? Are all the capes going to be rubber? Very interesting, but I think it looks pretty good here. Underneath that, good back print, and I love that double-sided face with the lightning effect. And speaking of lightning, you get this whole elaborate build here for Mjolnir, which has a lightning effect following it, and I love the way that looks. And LEGO also gives us a clear dish piece for Thor to stand on, so it looks like he's flying and helps with the balance of this large attachment part. This is amazing. LEGO, do more of this in different themes. Great job. Here he is, the man responsible for Ragnarok himself, Surtur, from the opening scene of Thor Ragnarok. I honestly never thought we'd see this character in LEGO form, and 7 years after the release of the film, here we are, and I'm so happy about it. On the box and the official name of this set, they refer to Surtur here as a construction figure, and LEGO Marvel has been doing these construction figures for a few years now, and if I'm being completely honest with you, I kind of hate them, and I gave up on collecting them a while ago. I dug up my Miles Morales Spider-Man construction figure out of a storage container for a quick size comparison, and as you can see, these aren't even remotely to scale with each other, and honestly, this Surtur figure has a lot more in common with the Crow buildable figure from the Eternals sets a few years ago, one piece in particular, than it does with the rest of the construction figures, and it's all the better for it. Surtur here is a genuinely fun LEGO build that captures a larger than life character from the MCU, and I think my favorite thing about this set, even though it is labeled construction figure, is it's actually to scale with minifigures. This is how big Surtur is in the opening scene of the third Thor film, and that is wonderful. LEGO was able to capture that accurately here. As I do with a lot of action figure type LEGO sets, let's start from the ground up. The feet themselves, nothing really to write home about. The legs though have some good coloration, great fiery details, and overall look solid. However, I'm not a huge fan of this part in particular. They introduced with the mech sets a few years ago, giving it a pre-bent knee. Don't love that, and you'll see how it hinders some articulation later in this review. review. I do think the use of the 1x1 pyramid piece in transparent orange was really creative for the kneecaps here, but moving up from the legs, you're going to look closer at the torso, which is one of the better designs in this set. First off, unlike the little detail on the legs, the chest here is printed and it looks great. I think the texturing is really well done all around, and underneath his chest we get some of the new orange color we saw a lot of in the LEGO City Space sets earlier this year. From there, we can look at the arms, which have some good shoulder pads. At the top, more fiery details, mixel ball joints for articulation, stickers, and then the hand at the very bottom has some big old fingers that are very intimidating. Those probably should have been downsized just a bit, but I'm not complaining too much. The other hand is a very similar design, but the thumb is slightly different to accommodate for holding this big old fire sword, which, oh my goodness, what a great looking piece. This is just one of those striking LEGO molds that really makes you go wow, and the cool part is you can drag it on the ground just like Surtur does in the scene from Thor Ragnarok. And finally, for this figure, we have the head, which has honestly been the bugaboo for a lot of these Marvel construction figures. Their heads have been overly large, oddly shaped, and just didn't really look all that good. That is not the case here, and I told you all this thing has one big part in common with the Crow figure from the Eternals set back in 2021, and that is the headpiece. Frankly, I never thought we'd see that headpiece again, but I'm glad LEGO was able to repurpose it here, and it actually looks very accurate. But the main reason they were able to make the shaping accurate is the addition of his crown, which Thor has some choice words about in the film.
Oh, that's a crown. I thought it was a big eyebrow.
It's a crown.
That has a sticker, kind of wish that were a printed part, but the rest of the design looks very good, and there's actually an amazing play function built into this. The crown comes off very easily. It's on a clip piece right there, just like in the film. I love it when LEGO thinks of these kind of things. And you get this chain piece to wrap around Thor with the crown, just like in the movie. I will say it's a bit finicky and likes to fall apart, but you know what? The effort was there, and that's kind of a hard thing to encapsulate in LEGO, so I really appreciate the attempt. Finally, for Surtur's build, we can look at him from the back, and honestly, he looks serviceable from this angle, but you might notice the Technic piece towards the top of his shoulders. You can actually do something very interesting with this. Basically, you can take the clear rod we saw earlier in the review attached to Thor's hammer and actually put that on that Technic part on his back and display it like Thor is flying around him, which is an unnecessary thing, but really adds a lot of great display value to this set. Before I wrap up my thoughts on this set, because this is an action figure of sorts, I need to go over the articulation points here. The head can rotate. I do wish it could look down or something. However, because it is such a specialized mold, I don't blame them for not being able to accomplish that. The arms have ball joints here that move around in tandem with the shoulder pads. You can move the elbows, the wrists, and all of the fingers have articulation, which is great. The waist also has a swivel, and then finally the hips can move and the ankles can move, but like I mentioned earlier, the knees cannot bend. I think that is probably the biggest missed opportunity with this entire design. When I first heard the rumors that LEGO was going to be making a new Thor Ragnarok set, I was very excited because we haven't seen any representation of this film in 7 years since it came out, and this was a really good scene to make. And I'm really hoping that this set sells well and LEGO gives us more Thor Ragnarok stuff in the near future. And this set should sell well because it's really darn good. The build looks great. It has fantastic play value, good display value, and some fun references to the scene in the movie. I think LEGO did a stellar job here besides the lack of the aforementioned knee joints. The minifigure lineup here isn't absolutely spectacular or anything, but it does include all the characters from this scene, so I really have no grounds to complain about that here. Now that brings us to the main issue with pretty much every modern LEGO set, and that is the price. This thing is $30 for 245 pieces, and honestly, the price ain't that bad. I would love for this to cost 25 bucks, but it does have some specialized molds and prints, and frankly, I think a realistic price would have been around $27 like the Speed Champion sets. So realistically, it's about 10% overpriced, $3 or so, which by 2024 standards ain't all that bad, and it's not something I'm gonna get all that angsty over. I think this set's awesome. Buy it, support good products like this. I'm gonna give it a glowing review of a 9 out of 10. But those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for watching today's review. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out. God bless. Bye-bye.